The best way to describe it is the difference between watching a car go down the highway versus being the driver looking out the window. That's first-person view.
Established 4 years ago when drone racing was in its infancy, Spokane FPV has, since its inception, been the go-to organization for anyone interested in participating in Spokane area drone racing. Spokane FPV chapter organizer Monty Lamazzi.
A few of us wanted to fly together, and I saw a video of a few French people that had gone and flown their drones through the forest, and it looked like pod racing, like Star Wars. And I said, oh, I have to do that. I wonder if there's anybody else. So I kind of started asking around, seeing if anybody wanted to do this kind of stuff, and there was about 7 of us that all joined up for the first meeting, and it's kind of been a snowball ever since.
Since its inception, Spokane FPV has grown to about 100 members, of which 16 to 25 racers compete nearly every week.
The different types of racing, it's all based around the first-person view. We all use a small camera on the front of the various devices and fly from the pilot's seat. You have fixed wings. It's just a simple plane with the camera on front, and it's almost like NASCAR on the wings. They're very limited on what you can do with them. We call it spec racing, and it's all about pilot skill at that point. The drones, they are more of an open spec. They tend to be a lot more creative by the pilots. They all basically have 4 motors and very small form factor, and probably exceed the speed of the fixed wings, 100 miles an hour on average around the courses. On the fixed wings, if you go to ground, you're on the ground. But believe it or not, on the drone racing, if you land right side up and you didn't break any props, a good pilot is a good builder, and a good builder built for a crash. So it's intended to take some pretty severe hits. I've seen them take 80, 100 mile an hour impacts and blow through certain things and keep flying on the other end. It's pretty amazing. Even if they end up upside down, the latest flight control systems we have, you can actually flip the props into reverse and hit the controls a little bit, flip it back over, kick your props back into normal rotation and take right off, and on you go. We call it turtle mode. Optics are important, and optics are expensive. This is kind of the basic threshold. One set of goggles, one controller, controls many different types of drones and planes and everything.
While immersed in the flight, pilots focus their involvement and energy into the flight, parlaying it into immediate feedback from their experience.
There are multiple levels to the feeling that you get when you're flying first-person view. It's one of the few things that actually tricks your brain into what they call the flow state. A lot of athletes, you'll hear that they get into the zone where everything seems to click. Their brain is processing things that seems like at an accelerated rate. That's an actual chemical state within the brain. This is one of the few things that you can do while sitting in a chair that will trigger that in your brain. The displays and the goggles are not virtual reality, so when you're looking around, they don't move around. It's fixed. There's nothing in your peripheral vision. It just puts you right into that driver's seat. Most people will even tend to get the physical sensation of flying left and right and up and down. You'll see their head move along with it. Their brain is tricking their body, and they should be experiencing these G's as they're making that turn. So you get into this state where you are the plane. You are whatever, you are the drone. You can now, yourself can now do 0 to 80 miles an hour in a second and a half, stop midair, do a 180-degree turn, and do 100 miles an hour the other direction within a second and a half. It's pretty fun. Some people enjoy that adrenaline competition of neck-and-neck racing. Some people enjoy the long, smooth flight out to a mountaintop. Man, flying with 2 or 3 people down a cliff that no human has ever been able to reach is pretty amazing. We all have that same joy of flight. even though it takes slightly different paths.